I don't think you grow up thinking you want to become an innovator. In fact, we talked a lot about the idea that this whole profession or discipline is still kind of in its infancy. So it's not like, I think when I was growing up, I wanted to be the president of the United States and never thought I was going to be an innovator. It's one of those things where over life, I'm one of those folks that was very curious, and so I sort of strove for breadth over depth. And what happened was, when you strive for breadth over depth, you actually end up experiencing a lot of different things, and your curiosity gets piqued into different areas. And guess what? Your passions get uncovered because you've gone really broad. And for me, the idea of being a catalyst, doing new things that create value, and being associated with that, that's what led me to the whole idea of innovation. But it wasn't something that was conscious. It was something that just sort of happened.
Our value proposition is taking the ideas of all of our caregivers from the bench to the bedside and translating them into ideas that make a difference in patient lives. That's what it's all about. It's our job to take these brilliant ideas from our scientists, our physicians, all of our caregivers, and get them in the hands of others so that we can make a difference to patients. This is a changing healthcare environment where we are responsible to do more with less, which means we need to manage risk at a much higher level. Our ideas come in very early stage, and we need to make bets, but we need to make bets on the right products. So again, doing more with less, focusing on value-based innovation, things that are going to increase the outcome for our patients while in a more efficient manner.
So Jim, I enjoyed your remarks very much, and I think you're talking about a problem that is very under-addressed in the world of innovation, which is when the new product innovation calls for new business innovation, do we do it, or do we try to shoehorn it into the old model? Could you just say a little more about how you go about framing a business model innovation exercise, because most of us have experience only in the product world?
Yeah, we do it because we find that sometimes even with product innovations, we can't capture value if we go to market with our same business model. But certainly if we're trying to create new businesses, there are very few of them that happen to fit into the existing business model of the company. So my organization was started to say, we want to create new businesses, and part of my learning from my history is that if all you do is create the new value proposition, it probably dies somewhere along the line. I think I learned from some of our earlier interactions about some of the new businesses you started at Eli Lilly, and I've learned from a lot of people about what actually works inside large corporations, and so new business model innovations is one of the things or new business models are what I think is required.
It sounds like a daunting task. I want you not only to invent a new product, but now come up with a new way in which we capture value from it as well. Overwhelming. But you mentioned the notion of archetypes. Can you give an example, like what would be a typical archetype? It will also help us understand what's a business model.
Okay, I mean, the dominant archetype for many, many years was basically gain as much market share as you can, aggressively move to reduce your costs, be the price leader, and grow at the expense of your competitors. And that was a business model that seemed to work for a lot of companies for a lot of years. It's fallen apart. There are industry after industry where that's no longer the case. The market leader may be losing. And so that was an archetype. I told you I read a book by Adrian Slowatsky that focused on what are the various ways of, what are the various business models that are out there, the coherent, very frequently found business models. And we've leveraged that. So I think product and service solutions, which is where you sell not services as an add-on to products, but you sell products as services, is a business model archetype. And that's one of the ones we're trying to leverage at Goodyear right now.